All right, good evening or good morning to you. Thank you for joining me right now. My name is Michael, and this, if it's Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning where you are, this is live. That's right, this is the second live English lesson that we have in February. And wow, I'm really excited. I love doing these live English lessons, and I really appreciate everyone who is joining me here and also everyone who has sent in questions or comments for this live broadcast. So thank you, everyone, for coming today. And if you do have an English question, I would be really happy to take your questions. I know that it's early Wednesday morning for some of our viewers, especially those in Asia. Happy Pitan is here. Good morning to Naho and Noriko. Thanks for joining me today. This is live. So if you do have a question or a comment, feel free to type that in the comment section. We have a couple of things that I want to show you today. We're going to look at the word my, how to use that. It might be a simple word, you think, but we're going to cover how to use that. And we're also going to look at the difference between I have a question and I have a doubt. That's right. That's what's on the schedule for today. Of course, if you do have a question, you can put that into the chat box that you see. So let me just grab one of these. Thank you. Alrighty, let's get started. Oh, and then after those 2 points, we're going to take a look at The Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which is one of my favorite books for learning idioms, and we're going to look at some moving idioms that I grabbed out of this book. So let's get started, shall we? Hold on, I've got to push the right button. All right, so a lot of people, a lot of English learners have trouble or get confused between these two sentences. So I have a doubt and I have a question. And I think that's because the word doubt and the word question translate to the same word in some languages. So, but however, in English, doubt and question are totally different. So, I have a doubt. I have a doubt means I don't know if it's true. I wonder if it's true. I have a doubt. One of my friends told me this morning that he saw Lady Gaga in a coffee shop. I have a doubt. I don't think that's true. So if you have a doubt, then something, or you feel that something is not true, that's a doubt. But if you want to ask somebody something, like your English teacher, then you can say, hey, I have a question. I have a question. I have a question means I want to ask you something. I have a doubt means I don't know if the information I heard is true. I heard something. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Okay? So, what's my point? If you want to ask somebody a question, then the best thing to say is, I have a question, and not, I have a doubt. That's a good cup of joe. All right, the next thing that I'd like to talk about is the word my. And I often hear my students and other people who study and learn English say things like this. I'm going to buy my lunch. Or last weekend, I wanted to buy my boots. Or I wanted to buy my new boots, so I went to the store. I want to buy my lunch. Buy my lunch. So, what does my mean? Well, my means It's mine. I own it. This is my cup. This is my book. These are my glasses. This is my cup. It's my cup. So if you say, I'm going to buy my lunch, it feels like you have lunch. Oops, where do we go? There I am. It feels like you have lunch, but you're going to pay for it. Why do you want to pay or buy something you already own? Here's another example. I'm going to buy my boots. Yes, I'm going to go to the store next weekend. I want to buy my boots. But your boots, my boots, means you own them. You don't want to buy your boots. What you want to say is, I want to buy new boots. And if it's something for you, then you can just say, I'm going to buy lunch. I'm going to buy lunch. It means I'm going to buy lunch for me. Or this weekend, I'm going to buy new boots for me. I went shopping for my sister. She wanted to buy her boots. I hear this all the time. She wants to buy her boots. Why is she buying her boots? She's the owner of the boots. Okay? So instead of saying he's going to buy his boots, or we're going to buy his boots, or I'm going to buy his boots, you could say, I'm going to buy boots for him. I'm going to buy boots for him. All right, that's the difference. So don't say I'm going to buy my lunch. Just say I'm going to buy lunch. That's good enough. Alrighty, if you're just joining me, this is Michael here from Happy English. It's live on YouTube. Feel free to put a comment in the comments here. Justice, hello from Morocco. Hi, Morocco. We've got Morocco and Japan in the house. Other people in the house, but they're a little bit shy to type something. Feel free to type a question. If you have an English question, I will be happy to try and answer your English question. All right, so next up, this book. Now, I showed you guys this book last week, and if you don't have this, I suggest that you run right to the bookshop and get it. It's called The Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and this, to me, this is one of the best books around for learning slang and idioms and actually real-sounding casual American English. It's an awesome book. So I picked out a couple of idioms that I want to show you from this book, which, like, again, it's a great place to buy. It's a great place to learn idioms. So in this section of the book, they're talking about Halloween, and he says, Greg says, before we even got out of our driveway, we ran into our neighbor, Mr. Mitchell. We ran into our neighbor, Mr. Mitchell. We ran into Mr. Mitchell. Run into. Run into is a phrasal verb, and it means, that's right, it means to meet by chance. So if you go to the convenience store in your neighborhood and you happen to see one of your friends or your neighbors and it wasn't planned, you can say, I ran into my friend, or I ran into my neighbor, okay? Recently, have you run into anyone? Why don't you leave a comment in the comments and let us know. Hello, Keiko. Hi, Keiko. I got it. You got it. That's awesome. Noriko has I have a question. It's not related to the topic. That's fine. Rachel asks, can I say I'm going to buy myself a lunch, or I'm going to buy lunch for myself? Yes, you can say I'm going to buy lunch for myself, but most people, when they buy lunch, they're going to buy lunch for themselves. So it's not necessary to say I'm going to buy lunch for myself or I'm going to buy myself lunch, because we can understand from the context that you're going to buy lunch and you're going to eat that lunch. Can you say a sheep says ba ba or sheep say ba ba when actually there's one sheep? When we talk about things in general, okay? We talk about things in general, we tend to use a plural noun or an uncountable noun. All right, so I could say sheep say ba ba, or I like apples. I like apples. Or bananas are yellow. Bananas are yellow. So we tend to use the plural noun or a non-countable noun when we talk about things in general. So getting back to your question there, a sheep says we don't, that's not natural. Sheep say ba, ba. That's what they say. And actually we say sheeps go. So cats go meow, dogs go woof woof, and sheeps go ba. So you can use go in that case. I dump into justice. How do you mean? Is that a question? Dump into. Hello, hello. To be the change that you want to see. To be the change. I'm sorry, justice. Okay, so then, so after getting back to the story, after they ran into Mr. Mitchell, Dad and Mr. Mitchell were talking for a while, and they were finished. And he says, I was glad they finished because that meant me and Rowley could take off. Take off. Take off. I'm going to take off. Take off has a couple of different meanings in English, but one of them is to leave. So when you're ready to leave the office, you can say to your coworkers, all right, guys, I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off. Take off means to leave. Of course, take off is also the opposite of put on. So maybe you put on your shoes when you leave the house, and then when you return, you take off your shoes when you enter the house. That's take off. All right, cool. So let's see. Summer S. I ran into you when I opened the YouTube app. Good idea. Hoda, hello. I'm going to buy flowers for my mother. Oh, that's so sweet. Awesome. Alrighty. One more. Okay. And they're talking about going trick-or-treating on Halloween. And he says, after that, we headed out on the road. Head out. So head out or head means to go. And it's an old verb, and it comes from the days of sailing ships. If you've seen the movie The Pirates of the Caribbean, in those old days, a couple of 100 years ago, they had at the front of the ship was like an angel or another figure of a goddess, and of course the body and the head, and they would point the head, the beginning of the ship, the front of the ship rather, in a certain direction. And let's say, for example, if they were going north, they would say, let's head north. Or if they were going south, let's head south. So we use the word head in English to mean go or go to. So I could say, after this lesson, I'm going to head to the coffee shop. I'm going to head to the coffee shop. It means I'm going to go to the coffee shop. Or I'm going to head out. I'm going to head out means I'm going to go out. I'm going to leave. So in that case, in that sense, I'm going to head out and I'm going to take off have the same meaning. All right? But again, we use head. The word head is a verb to mean go. So after this lesson, I'm going to head to the coffee shop. How about you guys? After this lesson, are you going to head somewhere? Are you going to head out somewhere? Are you going to take off? Why don't you leave a comment on the comments and let us know. What means fob off? That sounds like a not nice word. I think it's British English, and I think it has kind of a bad slang meaning. But we don't use that in American English, okay? F-O-B, off. I'm not so sure. Sorry about that. All righty. Well, that, my friends, brings us to the end of this live lesson. Wow, time flies when you're having a good time. So thank you, everyone, for joining me for this live lesson today. The next live lesson is going to be on Friday. That's right, this Friday. I don't remember what the date is, but it's 3 days from now. It's on Friday. And it's going to be at 9 a.m. New York time, which is noon in Europe, and about 2 p.m. in the Middle East, and 11 p.m. in Seoul, Tokyo, and in Asia. So that's Friday. If you could join me, that would be awesome. If you liked this live lesson, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you could please just tell one person about Happy English and this live lesson, I would really, really, really appreciate it. Alrighty, thank you everyone for commenting. I'll see you again on Friday. And don't forget, in the month of February, every Tuesday at this time and every Friday morning, we're going to have a live English lesson. So thank you everybody for joining me here today. And I'll see you guys next time right here at Happy English. Bye, guys.